Pleasure.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Don't know what happened. Congratulations. Into the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Espinosa. Walker. Dora. Here. Mason. Present. Jackson.
Present.
Hightower.
Here.
Chavez.
For participation. For public participation, we ask that the board accept the written correspondence as presented. We have a motion.
Aye.
Spacer, any small. Roll call, please.
Hightower.
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye.
Mora. Aye. Mason. Aye. Motion carried.
Mr. Byrne, is there any public comment? There is not. Consideration of old business. We ask that the board approve the minutes of the regular board meeting of June 23rd, 2025, and the closed session minutes of May 19th, 2025, as presented. Okay, Ms. Paul and Mr. Jackson. Roll call, please.
Hightower.
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye.
Mason. Aye. Mora. Aye. Motion carried.
In terms of reports, no old business from the superintendent.
Old business.
The suggested motion is for the Board of Education to approve the accounts and claims payable as presented, and there are no questions this time.
Okay, motion. Ms. Mason and Ms. Paul, roll call, please.
Mora. Aye. Mason.
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye.
Hightower.
Aye.
Motion carried.
And also, the building rental usage report is provided for informational purposes only, and there's no other old business.
Ms. Travis.
No old business.
Other old business, any other old business? No other business. All right, see, let's move right on. So I get a motion to go into closed session. We're at closed session. Mr. Jackson, Ms. Paul, roll call, please.
Hightower.
Aye.
Mora. Aye. Mason.
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye.
Motion carried.
We should be long in closed session. So. Consideration of business.
As discussed in closed session, the following motions to recommend to employ superintendent. The board extends the appointment of Dan Sullivan as superintendent of schools through June 30th, 2028.
Motion. That's your motion.
That motion.
Right. Next second. Stacy. And a roll call.
Mora. Aye. Mason.
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye.
Hightower.
Aye.
Motion carried.
So we have a pace. Minutes, we didn't get the official minutes, but Mrs. Mason was at the governing board meeting. I joined her at the governing board meeting. And the key takeaways is they approved their crisis plan for the 25-26 year. And they have brought on a new assistant executive director. We should be getting official minutes, and when we do, we'll get those to Lizette and get them. If you have anything, minutes for concerns about the meeting?
Not to report.
Ms. Moore, you have anything for the bond?
Yeah, I was at the closing of the summer school session for the north side. Just wanted to share how great event. That was actually cellular, but I didn't get to connect with you, but just wonderful to see what we got done over the summer with that program, and I hope the families again coming out, bags of things for you to take home, all the kids in their tie-dye shirts. Again, every time we have a school closure, I think that the schools and the community come together really nicely. And so, again, nothing on the actual boards that I'm on, but just wanted to share kind of what I've seen happen with our district for the summer.
Thank you very much. Mr. Jackson, you was cold. Right. We haven't had any facilities being, but there are schools up and running well, right? John, our new administrator. John, welcome again at your first meeting. We'll get you later on and give us an update. All right, thank you very much. Moving right along, Superintendent.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jackson, for the earlier motion, and thank you to the board. We ask that the board accept the resignation of the following personnel. Renee Renault, third grade teacher at Riley, effective immediately. Andrew Jacobson, eighth grade math teacher at MacArthur, effective immediately. Kevin Culbertson, sixth grade math teacher at Northlake, effective immediately. And Kyle McDill, English language arts teacher at MacArthur, effective immediately.
Okay, motion. Mr. Jackson, Ms. Mason, roll call please.
Hightower.
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye.
Mason. Aye. Mora. Aye. Motion carried.
Licensed personnel employments, we ask that the board employ the following licensed personnel effective August 18th, 2025, pending all employment paperwork. Rebecca Weglars, ELA teacher at Northlake. Michael Spell, multilingual specialist at Northlake. Hannah Maines, cross-categorical special education teacher at Northlake. Anna Correa, bilingual first grade teacher, Jefferson. Grace Maloney, ELA teacher, Northlake. Martha Tyson, inclusion resource special education teacher, Northlake. Joyce McGowan, multilingual specialist, Northlake. George Youssef, physical education teacher, Sunnyside. Joseph Pascarella, science teacher, Northlake. Alyssa Contopoulos, third grade teacher, Sunnyside. James Blake, ELA teacher, MacArthur. And Ann Gauger, STEM teacher at Northlake.
Any motion? Ms. Moore and Mr. Jackson, roll call please.
Jackson.
Aye.
Mason. Aye. Hightower.
Aye.
Mora. Aye. Motion carried.
And Dr. Mody's been very busy.
Very busy,
Thank you, Dr. Mody.
yes.
Good job.
We ask that the board approve the educational support staff leave of absence requests as presented for Michael McNulty, Jesus Batista, Laura Ruiz Perez, Richard Constantino, Stephen Lee, and Sonia Falco.
Get a motion. Mr. Jackson and Ms. Moore, roll call please.
Hightower.
Aye.
Mora. Aye. Jackson.
Aye.
Mason.
Aye.
Motion carried.
We ask that the board employ the following personnel pending all employment paperwork: Felicia Clay, Guadalupe Yorige, and Beatriz Cavada.
Get a motion. Ms. Moore and Mr. Jackson, roll call please.
Hightower.
Aye.
Mason.
Aye.
Mora. Aye. Jackson.
Aye.
Motion carried.
We ask that the board accept the resignation of the following personnel: Ryan Torres, teacher assistant, Northlake, effective immediately. Maritza Gaston, teacher assistant, Jefferson, effective immediately.
Get a motion. Ms. Moore and Ms. Jackson. Roll call please.
Mora. Aye. Mason.
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye.
Hightower.
Aye.
Motion carried.
We ask that the Board of Education terminate Ms. Rosa Hernandez, administrative assistant to the Director of Special Services, immediately after due consideration of information as presented and discussed in closed session.
Get a motion. Ms. Mason. Mr. Jackson, roll call please.
Hightower.
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye.
Mason.
Aye.
Mora. Aye. Motion carried.
We ask that the board accept the intent to retire letter of the following personnel: Richard Constantino and Marty Burton.
Your motion. Mr. Jackson and Ms. Mason, roll call please.
Hightower.
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye.
Mason.
Aye.
Mora. Aye. Motion carried.
And one of our ongoing efforts to address our teacher shortage and grow our own long-term educators, we have met with Bloom Board, and I believe, Mr. Jackson, you're familiar with Bloom Board.
Yeah.
And our attorney has reviewed their proposal, and we are using the existing grant funding that we have and funding for next year, which I'll talk a little bit more about in my report. But Bloom Board will allow us to take staff who are currently teacher assistants and put them through a program where they can earn their licensure to become teachers. So it's part of our ongoing efforts to improve our pipeline for educators. And I'd like to thank Mrs. Travis for all of her help with this, and also Irene. So the suggested motion is that the board approve the Bloom Board Educator Advancement Program proposal as presented.
Motion. Mr. Jackson, Ms. Mason, roll call please.
Jackson.
Aye.
Mora. Aye. Mason.
Aye.
Hightower.
Aye.
Motion carried.
And with the DePage West Cook intergovernmental agreement, we asked that the board adopt the West Cook intergovernmental agreement. The only change is this is an agreement between us and PACE and the DePage and West Cook special education cooperatives. And the change is to go from needing a 2/3 majority for a quorum to a simple majority of school districts which are present at the meeting. So that's the only change. So we ask that the board adopt the West Cook intergovernmental agreement as presented.
Motion. Ms. Moore and Mr. Jackson, roll call please.
Mora. Aye. Hightower.
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye.
Mason.
Aye.
Motion carried.
And then we ask that the board approve the emergency operations plans for 2025 and the crisis plans as shown in your backup. And the motion is that we ask that the board approve the emergency operations plan for Whittier, Jefferson, Riley, Sunnyside, Northlake, and MacArthur. We'll do them all at one time as presented.
Motion. Ms. Moore and Mr. Jackson, roll call please.
Hightower.
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye.
Mason.
Aye.
Mora. Aye. Motion carried.
And then Mr. Byrne has been working us and with the attorney to ensure, and also Mrs. Zimmerman, that we have the appropriate digital tool contracts. And so we asked the board approve the digital tool contracts as presented for Newslia, PebbleGo, Parent Square, and Epic, which is, I believe, still being reviewed by the attorney.
We got a thumbs up moving forward.
Okay, so they're all have been approved by our team. So ready for motion.
The motion. Mr. Jackson and Ms. Moore, roll call please.
Hightower.
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye.
Mason.
Aye.
Mora. Aye. Motion carried.
And we ask that the board approve the following fundraisers and donations as presented. Jefferson, Sunnyside, and MacArthur Memorial Park District Back to School Bash, August 15th, 2025 at 4 p.m.
Motion. Ms. Moore and Mr. Jackson, roll call please.
Mora. Aye. Hightower.
Aye.
Mason.
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye.
Motion carried.
And real quickly, I want to thank this board member, Mrs. Espinoza. She's not here today, but she and I met with Congressman Garcia's staff last week. And that conversation she was able to initiate was to allow them to understand firsthand how a school district is being impacted by the reduction in funding. And you may have heard, she also contacted me last Friday. We're both exchanging texts because word came out last Friday that the federal government may be releasing some of the funds that had been held. So in our conversation, I gave an example of Title III, which Mrs. Hennigan is aware of, that was put on hold. So that was approximately $100,000 that was zero. That's an example of how we're impacted by that. And that grant is meant to help offset the cost of educating multilingual learners. And so we wanted them to understand the impact because that hurts our parent funding. So for example, last year under Ms. Hennigan's leadership, we expanded our adult ESL to both sides of the district. So instead of it just being on the north side, we had it on the north side and the south side. And so we found that money that grant provided us to be very helpful for our parent engagement. So we plan to move forward using our Title I money to make it work, because we're still going to make it work. But Title I isn't funded the way it was last year either. We're down about $200,000 in Title I. So that's this like domino effect. But what we're doing is we're strategically using the grant funds that we can use up through August 31st, 2025. And then we're writing our new grants, and we're hoping all of these grants get funded. But hope is not a strategy, and that's why we're looking for every funding source and every savings that we can. So another grant that was not funded, it was put on hold, was Title II, and that's professional development, recruitment, and retention. So we use that grant for sending teachers and staff to workshops. We also use that to help offset the cost of Mrs. Travis going to the job fairs and the career fairs. That money is zero. So anyhow, not that long after that conversation and Mrs. Espinoza was on with the congressman, guess what? They said something Friday. They're going to make a change. I think she had something to do with it. So we're going to see if that actually happens. But right now I checked our funds. They haven't changed, but we are hearing that what was put on hold is now going to be released. So that would be very good for us as a district.
Can you give us an update of what we had, how many grants we got outstanding? Maybe that's something.
Yeah, it impacts literally right now all of our grants. And what has happened, and this is not necessarily going to be for sure, but Title I, for example, normally you get a preliminary allocation and then you get a final. We're hoping we still get the final. Usually that is $150,000 more than the original. So for us, that's in the range of $800,000 that we would typically get. Right now it's at 600. But usually it goes up after the year starts. So all of our grants are like that right now. Pre-K is like that. IDEA is like that. All of them are not where they were last year, but we're monitoring it as a team. We, for example, the teacher vacancy grant this year is less money, but we're going to use that to help offset the cost of the Bloom board that we just approved. And I've explained to Mr. Simone, this could mean that we don't have as much for that teacher retention bonus, because in the past we've been able to do a teacher retention bonus. We're still trying to do that, but that was funded by a grant. So people understand that some of the things we do with grants we may not be able to do, but we're going to find ways for the ones that are critical, like for our parents, our special education children, our children with multilingual needs. We're going to find a way to make it happen.
Bottom line, you want to stay on top of this, make sure it's what we got to. Let's not stop these funds. We need these funds to keep this taken. Cyrene.
Yes.
Zimmerman. Travis. Dan. Joe. New administrator, John. Robert. Moody. And we need those funds. So what do you guys have to do to keep this thing on? We need that. Okay.
Well, you're welcome. I just want to pull something up really quick because Dr. Spatafor did some work for me on this. Nicole, you shared that with me. Do you have that that computer? But you heard my answer. Was there anything else you wanted to add with that?
No, but that comparison chart, I think was helpful. I compared the, balance from last year to what is preliminary, like Dr. Sullivan said, for this year. And then we added up all of our grants, so we can kind of see the change. And then again, we met, like Zerman and I have met, and then again, we've been meeting together to see, you know, again, just how we can make sure we use the funding to the best of our abilities and take care of each other.
I found it, oh, so real quick, Mr. Hightower, to make to answer IDEA, for example, right now, which is special education, and the way Dr. Spatafor did it, it also includes pre-K. But overall, it's about $190,000 decrease. But often that's preliminary, and then when we get the final, it goes up. But where we were worried was, for example, the Title II, because that Title II was frozen. That was this one. That was $109,000. It was like we weren't going to get it. So now they're saying that we're going to get it. And the other decreases are from the preliminary to the final allocation. And we have not heard that the final allocation won't be honored. In other words, I know I'm talking a lot. My understanding is Congress has appropriated this money. It's there. It's now on the president or the administration to release it to the states. That's what we're waiting for on that. But the good news is it's been appropriated.
That's what.
Yeah.
No problem.
We will stay on top of that. And then we have, under Dr. Spatafor's leadership, we've been doing our site assessments. We have a review for Riley and Northlake, which I believe has been shared with you. We're going to end up at all of our schools having a site assessment done for safety purposes. We have our administrators retreat coming up on Tuesday, August 5th, and we're having that at the Northlake Public Library. That's one of our community partners. And what's really nice about that, Irene, is what?
It's free.
It's free. There's no charge. So how's that for a response? We're working on that. Institute Day and Back to School Bash will be on both sides of the district. That's going to be on Monday, August 18th. And that's a community event as well. And our first day of school is Tuesday, August 19th. And unless there are any questions, that's the end.
Okay, any questions? Your report, please.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Zoom, you're up.
Alrighty, so I have included our summer learning program, our final report for you. It's informational purposes, but we had roughly 294 students enrolled in our June summer learning programming. About 117 on the north side and 177 on the south side. And as you know, we engaged in inquiry-based, project-based sessions where students were engaged in hands-on learning, social emotional projects. We were called in our theme this year was Journey Through Time, Campfire Stories. So they worked through lots of different periods of time. They got to research the world. They had adventures in reading. We had readers theater. We had just lots of wonderful projects throughout the experience. We had also focused on SEL skills throughout that time. We had a pre and post assessment that they focused on as well. We had a total of 36 certified staff, 8 support staff, 2 administrative assistants, 2 nurses, and our food service program as well. So students had lots of breakfast snacks throughout their time, and we transported the students as well. And all of this was funded through our grants as well, in order to make sure that we had a great experience for our students this summer. So I'll move into my oral report, which also talks a little bit about summer school. So we have just wanted to give you a little bit from Dr. Myzanek. We just wanted to, first of all, express our sincere appreciation to the board and our leadership, district leadership, for supporting those efforts to expand grow our own leadership opportunities. So we, this summer, opened up those opportunities to summer school positions within our district for the principal position. So we were able to choose leaders within our own district that had, who are not currently serving in those building administrator roles. So that gave a unique opportunity for emerging leaders to step into that leadership experience. So we'd like to extend a heartfelt thank you to Mr. Ken Gardner, our physical education teacher at Jefferson Primary, who served as the summer school principal on the south side, and to Dr. Nikita Whitfield, the instructional coach at MacArthur Middle School, who led on the north side. Both individuals approached the opportunity with an incredible commitment and professionalism. They began planning with Dr. Myzanek in advance, several months in advance, to make sure that this was to ensure that our Camp Berkeley was a success for our students. What continues to make Camp Berkeley special this year is how it evolves into a reflection of the leaders, the teachers, and the students who bring it to life each year. While we give them a framework to work from, it's their vision, passion, and energy that truly shape the experience. And it's definitely a privilege to work alongside Mr. Gardner and Dr. Whitfield. Additionally, we were fortunate to partner with Dominican University. We had 6 of their teacher candidates join us for summer school to complete their student teaching experiences. These partnerships are not only mutually beneficial for us, but they often result in long-term hiring opportunities for our district, which one of them is going to be at Northlake next year in the science department. So that's very exciting. The other thing that was really exciting, that was a highlight of our successful part of successful summer, was we were able to pilot the Parent Square communication platform. And we want to recognize our technology department for their outstanding work behind the scenes to prepare and implement the tool. And we'd like to commend our summer school staff for embracing the pilot with flexibility and enthusiasm. And there was a high level of parent participation. And while we monitored this daily through the admin dashboard, it was a strong indicator of engagement. And because of this pilot, we are able to then have many of our staff help us, assist us in training at new teacher orientation and be kind of the leaders of this digital platform as we move forward into the school year and help the rest of our staff. We also want to thank again for your continued support and commitment to innovation and opportunity to grow across our district. And now for the best part, it's the video of Camp Berkeley that we would like to share. Created by our very own talented and creative instructional coach from Riley, Ms. Karen Johnson.
If you ever find yourself stuck in the middle of the sea, I'll sail away to find you. If you ever find yourself lost in the dark and you can't see, I'll be the light to guide you. Find out what we're made of. We are called to help our friends in need. You can't go wrong with me now. 1, 2, 3, I'll be there. And I know when I need it, I can count on you. Like 4, 3, 2, you'll be there. And that's what friends are supposed to do all day. Anytime and you just can't fall asleep, I'll sing a song beside you. If you ever forget how much you really mean to me, every day I will remind you. Oh, find out what we're done. We are going to help our friend. You can't count on me now. 2, 3, I'll be there. And I know when I need it, I can count on you. 3, 2, you'll be there. Yes, that's what friends are supposed to do all day. And I know when I need it, I can count on you. You'll be there. Yes, that's what the brains are supposed to do all again. Count on me, 'cause I can count on you. Should not be what it's only been. Someday this will be the good old days. I'll go back, forget them. And all these crazy thoughts will be better. Some days of your own, that's nothing change. I'm thinking about the band. I was thinking about the band. We were underground, loading merch in that 12 passenger van. It's going to the Minnesota, and it's more outside the first half. I just wanted my name in a star. And the baby, so growing, still growing. Oh, they not been dreaming about it. To get over to wait to be son. Now that I'm here, wish I was that young. Somebody would told me, babe. And someday things will be the good old days. Forget it. And all these crazy things. Just tell me if you're all I gotta say. You can still see.
We have some other exciting news to share. This summer we had, as you know, the amazing opportunity to have 31 of our educators attend the Innovative School Summit in Las Vegas for school improvement. The summit brought together 5 powerful conferences, which was innovative teaching strategies, school discipline, at-risk youth, social emotional learning, and English learners throughout the week. They participated in a wide range of workshops aimed at deepening our understanding and equipping us with tools to better support our students. And our plan is so we put a Google folder together so that they could bring ideas back and kind of put all their sessions in the Google folder. And our plan is when we come together with all of our school improvement teams, they're going to share out the different strategies and the different information that they utilize so that we can focus on continuous improvement. But one of the things that I really wanted to share with you is when the team returned, Dr. Myzanik and I received this email, and I wanted to read it to you. During my time in Las Vegas, I had the pleasure of completing 23 hours of professional development from nationally recognized speakers and educators. I left energized with new ideas, strategies, and connections that I'm excited to bring back to my classroom, share with my team, and spread to the broader Northlake Middle School teaching staff. Each evening during the trip, I found myself revising and enhancing my first unit. I spent and will continue to spend time infusing my units with fresh approaches I learned at the conference to engage our Berkeley 87 learners in complex, high-quality instructional tasks. Beyond the professional learning, this trip helped me build a stronger sense of community among staff. I had the opportunity to connect with educators and leaders from across the district, many of whom I hadn't met despite my 6 years in D87. I returned feeling more connected, not only to the Northlake team, but also to our district as a whole. Thank you again for advocating for opportunities like this. I know how challenging it can be to navigate the logistics of grant funding, especially in the current climate. But please know the impact is real. Experience like this make a meaningful difference for D80 staff and ultimately for the students we serve. So I thought you would really appreciate hearing the email that we received from one of our staff members. It was very, very moving, and I was very appreciative. Really made my day. I too was able to go to Visible Learning Conference with myself, Ms. Hennigan and Ms. Salzman. We went to Visible Learning, which is it was a week-long conference on John Hattie's research about what are the best strategies to impact student learning. And so as a result of that, it was an amazing learning opportunity. Let me just say that. And as a result of that, I am certified now to train the rest of the district in his research and am an invisible learning ambassador, so I can provide any of the training. I have access to all of their resources, all of his research, and will able to provide that. And Laura, if you want to add anything about the conference.
There are a lot of great opportunities provided to us at the conference that we're going to be able to bring back to the teams, to the buildings.
Starting Wednesday with the principals and assistant
Correct,
principals.
Wednesday with principals, to just continue to enhance our sense of belonging, our culture, and our school improvement. Great.
And we kick off new staff orientation on August 7th. So we're very excited about that. We're doing things a little bit different. We have it Thursday, Friday, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, which will give so it's the 7th through the 13th, which will give our staff a few days then to kind of take a breath before all of our lovely children come back to us on the 18th. So, there's not any further questions for me. Is the conclusion of my report.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Sorry.
The summary of budget, statement of position, and student activity report ending June 30th, 2025 has been provided for your information. The first item is regarding the tentative budget for fiscal year 2026. A summary of the projected revenues and expenditures are in your packet, along with a comparison of the FY25 final budget. At this stage in the process, because of all the things that Dr. Sullivan talked about with the revenues changing, there will be some changes when we come to by September. Hopefully we'll get some firm numbers on what we'll have. So the revenues and expenditures both will be slightly changing depending on the allocations that are given to us by the government. So right now we're not, I used the numbers that I thought we were going to get, but they most likely will change. The evidence-based funding has not been released yet from the state. Historically, the district has been designated as either tier 1 or tier 2. We're expecting the same. It varies year to year. That the model takes into account 27 different factors. So it, including the equal access value of property, class size, enrollment, all of these different things play a factor in how much we will be getting, what tier we'll be getting. I don't expect it to be much less than, much less or much more than what we normally get. That should be coming out in September. On the expenditure side, also, the special ed tuition rates have not yet been released from our cooperative, so that's tentative as well. Capital outlay will be revised once projects are determined and expense and costs are determined. Student transportation is expected to increase through our contract by about 6%, and the reimbursement rates are projected to decrease slightly according to legislation. Salaries and benefits reflect the negotiated agreement and will be updated as vacant positions are filled and new employees make their benefit elections. So that will vary as well. As always, the district remains committed to making choices that support our students and provide the highest quality environment possible. And then in accordance with the school code, the board is required to set a date for the public hearing on the tentative budget and publish notice of the hearing at least 30 days in advance. So the suggested motion is to approve that the Board of Education approve the tentative budget for fiscal year 2026 as presented, established Monday, September 22nd, 2025 as the date of the public hearing. Direct the Assistant Superintendent of Finance and Operations to publish the required notice of public hearing and to display the tentative budget at the Administrative Center in accordance with legal requirements.
Good morning. Mr. Jackson, Ms. Small, roll call please.
Jackson.
Aye.
Hightower.
Aye.
Mason.
Aye.
Mora. Aye. Motion carried.
The next item is an annual item for the food service milk vendor. The suggested motion is that the Board of Education approve the food service department milk vendor contract for 2025-2026 as presented.
Good morning. Ms. Mason and Ms. Small, roll call please.
Jackson.
Aye.
Mason.
Aye.
Mora. Aye. Hightower.
Aye.
Motion carried.
The next item is the adoption designating interest earnings for fiscal year 26. This resolution is to ensure that interest from 1 year that is posted to the following year still be designated as interest. So the suggested motion is that the Board of Education adopt a resolution designating interest earnings for the fiscal year 2026 as presented.
Morning. Ms. Mason and Mrs. Jackson, roll call please.
Mora. Aye. Hightower.
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye.
Mason.
Aye.
Motion carried.
The next item is for interfund transfers for debt service for the capital lease. A suggested motion is that the Board of Education adopt a resolution authorizing first permanent interfund transfers for debt service as presented.
Ms. Mason and Mrs. Jackson, roll call please.
Hightower.
Aye.
Mora. Aye. Jackson.
Aye.
Mason.
Aye.
Motion carried.
For my oral report, the fiscal year audit still continues. Our Title I grants and our National School Lunch Program are going to be audited as part of the single audit. The auditors will be at the district the last 2 weeks of August. The finance department's been working on helping other departments amend their grants to provide up-to-date expenditure reports. We're also making sure all the supply orders are in for the schools to get ready for our students. I recently attended a legislative update posted by Illinois Association of School Boards, and some of the key highlights from the recently passed state budget include the evidence-based funding has been reduced to $307 million, which falls below the statutory minimum of $350 million. The teacher vacancy grant, as Dr. Sullivan has mentioned previously, that has been reduced from 45 million cap. It needs to have 2 years to 30 million for the upcoming year. However, our categorical grants remain level with fiscal year 25 funding. So I've included presentation slides for you to review if you want to see the legislative action. While the slides list bills that have passed in both chambers, they were still awaiting the governor's signature at the time of the presentation. And today I received notice that the second installment property tax bills for Cook County that were normally issued in July, the bills were usually sent out in July, the payments were normally received in August, probably will be sent out until September, October, or possibly later. So given this delay, the township treasurer and I will just continue to closely monitor the balances, and if we need to transfer funds, we'll bring that to your attention. And let you know. We have received our P card rebate of $2,844.03 this year, just for using our card. I think so. And I just wanted to welcome again John Davey to our department as the Director of Facilities and Transportation. He's had a busy week with all the water issues. So welcome, John. That's the end of my report.
Ms. Travis, yeah.
All right. Wanted to share with you the vacancies. For certified staff, we have 11 vacancies at this time. And then for support staff, we have 2. So this is an improvement from the years in the past. A lot of our vacancies are special education vacancies. Special education is a hard to fill position right now at this time, as well as bilingual. But we are hoping to, for one of our hard to fill bilingual positions, I believe we have an interview set up for Wednesday. It's been a while since we've had a candidate, but hopefully that person does not get a job by Wednesday. I told them, please give us a chance before accepting at another district. For special education is something we had maybe like 1 or 2 late resignations of that, but we're working on it. I was reviewing some data, and I'll give you more of a report because I want to be exact. But I was looking at our resignations, and these are voluntarily resignations from for the end of the 22-23 school year. And at that time, voluntarily on their own without being non-renewed, there was approximately at that time 30-something resignations, but 30 were voluntary. When I looked at the school year, at the end of school year 2024-2025, which is the one we just concluded, we have voluntarily on their own 7. So we're moving in the right direction. We are beginning to retain our staff, and we're moving in the right directions. Now, we do have more that were non-renewed and chose to resign, but people just voluntarily resigning. Our data were decreasing. And so I want to do a couple of like maybe 3 or 4 years and have a spreadsheet for you to review. But I want to make sure we're as accurate as possible. So I want to check and double check. But when I come back in August, we can take a look at that. But that's great news. And so the teacher vacancy grant, I believe, is helping us. I will tell you, I had an exit interview today, and one of the teachers told me that they really, really felt appreciated with all of the different gear and activities. He said he felt like he belonged and he felt appreciated in Berkeley 87. So he said that is one of the things that he felt like we were doing really well in, was making sure that teachers felt appreciated and that he belonged. Any questions?
Any questions?
No questions. Good progress, thank you. Okay, let's shift over to Mr. Mark.
All right, thank you. My first item here is to talk about water in the data room, but I'll let John take the pleasure of going over that. It's under control. So as Dr. Zimmerman talked about, new chief orientation begins next week, so a lot of preparation in that. Make sure we have everything ready for our new teachers. And we're able to welcome them starting on day 1. As Dr. Zimmerman and Dr. Sullivan said, moving forward with some new tools. So we're working hard to get those implemented and getting training set up for new teacher orientation. Those tools, Epic, like Dr. Sullivan said, is a robust library of digital books. Newsella is those real world events brought to news articles for our scholars. HuddleGo, which is an online encyclopedia. And then Parent Square is our new communication platform, which I'm really excited about. I've been working with teachers over the last couple of weeks to get trained on that. They're going to train both new staff and staff that are returning who are choosing to come over the summer. We're going to have right now about 70 people showing up for that. We hope to get some more as well. We want to start the school year off with our staff being well informed on these tools, which I think could be a huge value add to District 87. Working hard over the summer to get all the technology ready, new MacBooks, new Chromebooks, keyboard, document cameras, so classrooms are ready in day 1. And then always spending time to focus on security, so that means updating all our servers, patching them, and then doing some things where we're increasing the security of people's accounts. That means requiring additional complexity, turning on multi-factor authentication, requiring password changes. So we are in partnership with our insurance company. They kind of push us to continue to make our infrastructure safer, which helps lower premiums, but ultimately just makes this a digitally safer place to be. And still working hard to get all those things in place. So that's all I have, Mr.
Any questions from staff? Okay, John, since you was called out, welcome to your first board meeting. John's our new director of facilities. So walk in with your hands for yourself. Just some things.
So I definitely hit the ground running here the first month or so.
That's absolutely.
Right. So we've had a couple of issues with some water penetrated buildings. I'll start here, it's the most recent one. So in the last 2 heavy rainstorms that we've had, we ended up getting, first storm, we had a substantial amount of water come in the fiber optic conduit lines that are located right outside the building, actually on this side. And it actually flooded the data room and the lower level of the admin center here. And just over the weekend, had another rainstorm and we had some more water, but it didn't penetrate the data room this time. We blocked up one of the pieces of conduit that was carrying the fiber lines, and we blocked that out Friday. So the rainwater that came in yesterday did not affect the data room or the internet, so that that problem, it's been that stops. We plugged up a couple of pieces of conduit today. I know we wrapped some of the joints that were in the basement where the couplers connect the multiple pieces of conduit. We put some water tight tape on those so that we don't get any works in the basement. And then seal up the holes outside, so that's not going to be an issue for moving forward here. Little update on our North Lake water situation. Room 1 has remained dry since that room was waterproof, which has been great. Unfortunately, now we are getting some water up in the boiler room. So the water's kind of just continuing to push its way, kind of through the building. I had the city of North Lake out last week, and they did hydro excavating where the forensic leak company was out. And it turns out that we actually had a old water main leak on the water main pipe. That's where the leak detection company had kind of X-marked the spot for us. So when they dug down, that's where we found the old water main repair. There is no water main leak currently over there. The ground is very heavily saturated with groundwater. So the understanding right now, and this, all the information has been sent to the as well. But when the new water main service was put in as part of construction, it created kind of a natural French drain type system because of the looser gravel. It gave the groundwater a new path. So what we're thinking is taking place is that the water has just been traveling down along the line of the new water main service, and that's what was originally penetrating in Route 1. But now that room has been sealed off, we're not getting leaks in there. The water is actually coming up some old electrical conduit pipes in the boiler room. So we're going to get those sealed up, and hopefully the water will stop, coming into the building right now. But as soon as I get some more information from the architects, they're kind of putting their heads all together and getting more civil engineers involved to determine if that's genuinely what's going on and what we're trying to do so that this doesn't become another issue for us. But besides those, we've got a couple of roof leaks that we're getting taken care of. And then our custodial staff has just been absolutely knocking it out of the park lately. We brought a crew over here to our admin building and thorough deep clean, redid the floors, and they did quite a bit of painting throughout the hallways and the offices. They repainted in here, and really kind of making this area, look a lot nicer than, you know, how it previously was, which had been found. And all the central office things that, real, with the amount of work they got on the past. So, I think that's about it for now, yeah, that's kind of where we're at.
Question about the water room. The leak is not going to affect anything in the water room. Like,
No, not anymore, we were down in that for a couple of hours or so.
Yeah, at about 3 o'clock on whatever day the storm was, the network equipment disconnected is. With an abundance of caution, in case it got wet. The next morning when I plugged it in, we were able to do technical things to then get it put in place, and all services were up. So, internet is back to where it was, so we're in a good place.
Oh, yeah. You know, I was on site at the North Lake property, they were doing the hydro excavating. And we have a short little video, that shows them, you know, doing the hydro excavating, and just the amount of groundwater, that was, you know, just underground. So.
That shiny part of the pipe is the repair that was made. And that's what they thought it was leaking, but it wasn't. And watch how much water they take out and look how quickly it comes back. That's groundwater, it's been sitting. See water, it keeps going in. Yeah.
So if there was a leak on the water main, then at least in this area, if it was a couple of feet either direction, being that we disturb such a large area, if there was a leak on either side of the exposed area, the pressure from that leak would have completely blown out all the dirt and rocks and clay that were underneath and really would have exposed itself as a water main leak. That did not happen. And then further with that, if you've ever seen ground on either side of the streets where there's a water main break, the grass just gets extremely saturated with water, just kind of start pulling out everywhere. We're not experiencing that at all on the property, which further leads into, you know, the assumption that it is groundwater that's been entering.
Good morning and welcome.
Hopefully I don't have as much to report to you guys.
Thank you for your time. Let's see what you doing? You up?
Hello. We're getting ready for the school year. It's a nice break to be out of the building. We were at the partner. And so that gave an opportunity for Kelly, Kara, Nicole, and I to share a room. And we got a lot of work accomplished during that time frame, getting ready for the new school year. Have some trainings in place. We have a total of 8 trainings in place for our bilingual teachers as they enter into the dual language program to provide them support as they're working on teaching a new model. Very excited about that, and working on making sure that our adult ESL program continues. And stay tuned, we've got some feedback dates on the calendar, and I'm just getting ready for a fun school year.
Thank you for the breakout. Appreciate it. Okay. Dr. Spafford, go.
Thank you for your motion for passing the revised safety plans that meet our FEMA standards, our Illinois standards, and obviously with all the renovations to all the schools. There are, new plans and all that information in there. Each principal, assistant principal looked at each one of their own plans to make them, specific for their building and their needs. So they put a lot of effort into that over the summer to get that done. So thank you for getting those approved, and then we'll be getting those out. Matches our crisis response protocol and all the training we've been doing. I think Dr. Sullivan last month explained that we had training on reunification. So that's kind of our next step for leaders in the district to work on that training and implementing that training. And as Ms. Travis said, we were, we have some vacancies that we're working on, but we did have some related services positions that are filled, that were unable to be filled last year. So we're very excited to start off the school year with having those positions, especially for our related service providers for our special education children in that capacity. And then we're working this year with Ms. Zimmerman's leadership on our parapros, not just special education, but all of our parapros, being able to work with West 40 and doing some professional development specifically for them and their roles as a teacher assistant. So looking forward to that this year. And our nurse team is going to be coming together next week. There are some changes with some things with school regulations and things like that. So they're working together. Maybe familiar with the Layla Levan that we would work with every year. That has changed. So the team's coming together to start thinking of other solutions to make sure that all of our children get all the things and requirements and physicals and vaccinations that they need. That there are no barriers in the way for any of our families. So there are things coming together to work on that next week. And had the pleasure of working with John, again, on all our safety plans and things we need in our classrooms to get everything set up. And he's also going to be joining the Northern Illinois School Safety Administration Association with me. So it'd be wonderful that there'll be 2 representatives from District 87 in that association. And I just also want to say thank you, Ms. Myzanik and I as central office and administrators for that participation in the trip to the Innovation Summit. For me, wonderful things I got out of the conference, but the biggest one was looking at our future leaders. Because I could see the innovation in some of those teachers, and I can see which ones are going to be future principals. And it just made me so happy. Wonderful opportunity.
Thank you. Turn to all and hope we have the information back. We appreciate it. Any questions? Let's say the best for last. We want to update on what we decide.
Well, I am excited and blessed to start my 14th year as principal of our Lake Middle School. That's going by real quick. I remember 14 years, I was sitting in this room being interviewed. I want to thank Mrs. Travis. I've been working with her all summer to get those positions filled. I think we're almost there. So excited. We have a couple more interviews tomorrow, and it could take us to 100%. Thank you for onboarding all our new staff here. We ordered our soccer jerseys and our bowling jerseys last week, both MacArthur and North Lake Middle Schools. We're excited with that. And then I met with John today, and we're going to start mapping on our soccer field at North Lake Middle School. We'll use that in practice, and then all of our home games along with MacArthur will be at the field here. So we are super excited to bring soccer and bowling for the first time at North Lake and MacArthur Middle Schools.
Good. Can't wait. Got the coaches?
We will get that going as soon as the school year starts, and then I want to thank you. I know we've been working hard for that athletic director position at the middle school, so I think Mrs. Travis just put out the posting, and so we can give a couple more opportunities for people to expose their leadership skills there. So excited about that.
Thank you. Looking forward. Any questions from the members of the board? No questions? Gary, no questions. What are business?
No other business.
Announcements?
I think you usually ask when is the next board meeting.
Question to Mr. Jackson.
Ooh, let me see. Well, third, that's on Saturday, so it should be the 25th.
What time?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. Next board meeting, August 25th, 6 p.m. We'd like to thank everybody for your time and patience. But we cannot start a board meeting without. Thanks, everybody, for this.
Give us more.
You see why you need it? Well, thanks, everybody. Hope you have a safe evening. And an emotion to the note. I don't know. There's more of this.
Hightower. Jackson.
Aye.
Mason. Aye. Laura. Aye. Motion carried.
What I say, people.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's nice.
I don't know if I got him yet. I think you will. Excuse me, John, did you want any business cards yet?